Tonight on Elon Local News, a violent act causes campus to be on high alert. What campus police plans to do to keep students safe.
It's hard enough to solve a robbery. It's that much harder when you wait 13 hours to report it.
It's an event that is helping the local economy and bringing the community together.
It's awesome for people to come and see all the economic growth that downtown's experiencing right now.
And later in the show, we found a place where students can have a wrong answer and still be right.
This is a space where it's okay to fail. In fact, it's expected.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rajat Agarwal.
And I'm Jackie Pascal. We begin tonight with reminders to stay safe after a student reported being held at knife point this weekend on campus. Our Gary Grumbach has more. Gary?
Jackie, almost 13 hours. That's how long it took for an Elon student to notify Elon Town Police after he was robbed at knife point Friday night. Junior Jack Hollowell was punched in the ribs and held at knife point by 3 assailants while he was walking home from a party near Trollinger Apartments on Friday. Elon police are investigating.
Initially asked for his wallet. He did not give it to him.
Elon police say when Hollowell refused, one of the suspects punched him and said, "I'm going to stab you if you don't give me your wallet."
There was a brief struggle, and after the guy presented the knife, he gave up his wallet.
13 hours after the incident allegedly occurred, Hollowell reported it to police. Assistant Chief James Perry says Hollowell's wallet contained $300 in cash, a credit card, and his Phoenix card. Here's who authorities are looking for. 3 African-American males, one with a tattoo sleeve, who were driving a tan or gold Toyota Corolla.
It's hard enough to solve a robbery. It's that much harder when you wait 13 hours to report it.
Perry says public complacency when it comes to reporting crimes is a problem.
Elon is a fairly safe community, but we do have instances where things like this occur. I think because it's so safe, people lose track of the fact that this can happen.
I will be sitting down with Jack Hollowell tonight. Check out tomorrow's online exclusive for more coverage of this scary situation. Now, crime in the area has continued since Friday night. Just yesterday, there was a string of larcenies in the Elon and Gibsonville area. This afternoon, police arrested Anthony Crawford of Graham and charged him with 5 counts of felony larceny and 4 counts of felony breaking and entering. Now, Jackie and Rajat, a simple tip from Elon Police. Walk in groups and be aware of your surroundings.
Thanks, Gary. A new tree stands outside Danley K as a tribute to an old friend. Friends and family of Elon student Trent Stetler remembered his life Saturday with a tree planting ceremony and memorial. Students told stories about Stetler and the impact he had on others' lives. Stetler died last January and is believed to have taken his own life. Now he is remembered by the tree outside his freshman dorm and in his friends' memories.
Keeping his memory alive and not replacing him, but acting as sons to his parents and as brothers to his sister. I think that would be the best, and that's what he would have wanted.
Leave letters, pictures, or stones by the tree to honor Stetler's memory. With the presidential election just 14 months away, the candidates are preparing their campaigns. The Democratic Party has 5 potential candidates: former governor of Rhode Island, Lincoln Chafee, former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, Senator from Vermont Bernie Sanders, and former Senator Jim Webb from Virginia.
And the Republican list seems to keep growing. There are currently 17 Republican candidates running, according to the New York Times. Some of the candidates include Scott Walker, Dr. Ben Carson, and Donald Trump.
Now, with all those candidates, you might be a little confused on what you need to know about them. Our Brianna McClelland is here in studio to break down the top 2 candidates in each party. Brianna?
Thanks, Rajat. No need to fear about the commotion surrounding the upcoming 2016 presidential election. Here's a breakdown of what you need to know. Leading the Democratic poll is former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton. According to Clinton, her campaign includes goals like building the economy of tomorrow, fixing our dysfunctional political system, and protecting the United States from threats that we see and ones that are on the horizon, as reported by Newsweek. Second for the Democratic nomination is Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont, who identifies himself as an independent. According to Sanders' campaign website, his main areas of focus are income and wealth inequality, racial justice, and fighting for women's rights, as well as others. On the right side of the aisle, business mogul Donald Trump is dominating the Republican polls. Although he doesn't speak much about his political views, he has made a point to share his view on immigration reform. On his website, he says, quote, "A nation without borders is not a nation. There must be a wall across the southern border." Last but not least, you may recognize his last name considering both his dad and his brother, George H.W. and George W. Bush, have served as presidents. Former Governor of Florida, Jeb Bush, puts an emphasis on jobs and businesses, taxes, and education. Now, although he's hoping to follow in their footsteps, he makes it known he has learned from both their successes and failures to help make his own path. Stay tuned with Elon Local News as we continue coverage of these presidential hopefuls as we get closer to 2016. Rajat, back to you.
Thanks so much, Brianna. In studio now, we have Bobby DeStefano, a senior finance major, here to speak with us about what students should know about the stock market.
Thank you so much, Bobby, for being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Now, first off, Bobby, what should students be concerned about, or should they be concerned about what happened last week in the stock market?
I don't necessarily think that what happened last week should be of concern to students. I think that there's key news points that people should be watching, such as oil prices, what's happening in China, currencies, and what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing with interest rates. But the news that came out last week concerning the U.S. economy was actually positive, speaking towards employment and things like that. But because of volatility in China, our market kind of felt some shocks from that, and therefore equities went down.
So do you believe the media might have exaggerated some of the stock market things going on? I know it kind of changes each week, so do you think it was too much, or?
I don't necessarily think that it was an exaggeration so much as they painted it in a more negative light than they may need to have concerning the U.S. economy, because there was a lot of money lost in that week and then a lot of money gained back. But the focus was more on that than, for instance, the health of the U.S. economy. With good statistics coming out, it means that the Fed might actually raise interest rates, which is scary for a lot of investors, but really means that we're moving towards a healthy economy and that things are going well. Employment's going up, and we're having the type of growth that we want to have.
Well, and what exactly should students be paying attention to? If you had to give a student advice, what one thing should they pay attention to relating to the stock market?
I think that right now, the Federal Reserve is probably the biggest focus within the economy right now, because if they raise interest rates, the first time it's happened in over a decade, and it would be a very different environment than what anybody our age really has seen. So that, and then also oil prices. Just today, OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, announced that they might cut their production, and so oil prices might actually spike back up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bobby, for joining us and giving us all of those really helpful tips. I know we're going to really look out for those. So when we come back, our Alex A will break down the current headlines in the stock market and what we should be looking for.
And we'll show you a place on campus where students are using new technology to print their dreams.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs, just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to Elon Local News. We had a breakdown of what you need to know and don't need to know about the stock market earlier. And now our Alex Day is here to recap what made headlines in the market this past week. Alex?
Thanks, Jackie. The stock market is known for fluctuating almost every day, and today is no different. According to USA Today, stocks tumbled and oil prices surged today. 2015 has been a relatively stable year for the New York Stock Exchange, according to TheStreet.com. The market barely moved for the first 7.5 months of the year. Then last Monday, the Dow closed down nearly 600 points, the worst drop in 4 years. Today, the Dow Jones fell 115 points. The S&P 500 gave its worst monthly performance since May 2012. Why is this happening? There are two major issues to look at. One is China. China has risen to 16% of the world's economy, according to EconomyWatch.com, and has become highly desirable for investors to put their money in. Then the Chinese economy sank and the country devalued its currency, creating problems for investors all over the world. Second, the oil industry has gone dry, although there was a rise just today. Just 1 year ago, oil cost about $95 per barrel. Today, it only costs $49.20. This is largely because oil production is currently very high and supplies are plentiful, in part because the U.S. has become a major oil producer. As bad as the headlines were last week and today, the alleged mayhem wasn't all that bad. I'm Alex Day. Back to you, Rashad.
Thanks, Alex. The stock market has affected large and small businesses alike. With new major businesses coming to Alamance Crossing, I checked out how small businesses in downtown Burlington are keeping up. Trucks, face painting, and live music. All packed into one night.
So I know for me personally, this is my first time coming out here, and I think it's a really good event to get people of all ages coming down here, a lot of different things to do.
The event is downtown Burlington's 4th Friday series. It launched 3 years ago through a partnership with the Burlington Downtown Corporation, Alamance Arts, and the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department.
So the concept behind it was really to create something in downtown Burlington that was different than any other concert that was going on.
And with such a crowd gathered in one location, local business owner Chelsea Dickey, who began her company in March, says the publicity is priceless.
We've been coming out for every 4th Friday from May, and we always have a table, and it's awesome for great exposure and to point people over to the shop since we're so new in downtown.
Dickey was born and raised in Burlington and says the positive economic impact on the town is undeniable.
It's awesome for people to come and see all the economic growth that downtown's experiencing right now.
And though the growth in Burlington is exciting, Lassiter hopes the city never loses its close-knit community.
Burlington is a great place to live, and it's a great place to raise a family. And it's getting bigger, so this environment really gives us an opportunity for it to still feel like a small town.
The final 4th Friday in downtown Burlington will be Friday, September 25th.
The remodeling of the Danley Center is almost complete. The gym is the last of the installments and can be found near the north side of the Danley Center neighborhood. The gym will include several exercise bikes, ellipticals, and weight machines, as well as 2 indoor basketball courts.
I think for the students that live out in Danley, to have that sort of neighborhood community feeling where you don't have to walk probably a mile or so to get to a gym, I think it's really good for them.
Campus Rec plans to open the gym in the next few weeks.
The 21st century introduced us to 3D printing, and Elon is being imprinted with much more than new technologies. Our Ashley Boley has more.
That in the space. This is a space where it's okay to fail. In fact, it's expected that you will fail repeatedly, and that's not a bad thing.
There's a new place for builders and creators who like to tinker with wires and technology. Maker Hub in Colonnades E lets students and staff innovate and learn in a hands-on environment.
We're trying to create a culture of making, a place where people can feel comfortable coming in with an idea, figuring out what they do and don't know, learning more, and making their project a reality.
Projects include 3D printing, computing, electronics, and much more, but the inspiration doesn't stop there. Through the power of Google Cardboard, you can take a smartphone and have a virtual reality in the palms of your hands. Right now, I am seeing Paul McCartney live in virtual reality at a concert, and he is performing. Makers are no professionals, just ordinary students who are developing more than just their technical skills.
This whole environment was very new to me when I first came in, and so most times we get comments where like, oh, you're an engineer, you're gonna know all this, but I had no idea and I was just as nervous.
O'Connor was supported by what Vaughn calls the maker mentality.
When you have a project idea, you run after it full steam, you try and make it happen. Even if it turns out to be a total failure, we just want you to finish your project. We want you to persevere through.
That's exactly what O'Connor has done and what he continues to do.
You can't be afraid to make mistakes. That's the other thing, and failure. That's how you learn.
Ashley Bowley, Elon Local News.
And the Maker Hub is free for any Phoenix card holder and is open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. On Friday and Saturday, it's open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Coming up, our Sky Cowans found out that learning a language is as easy as picking up your phone.
In practices, Duolingo was voted one of
I
Time
checked out a
Magazine's
place where some
must-have.
Elon parents and some pretty important people have been checking in.
Turn here. There. Excuse me.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Turn here. There. Excuse me.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
When you study abroad, learning a new language can be intimidating, but one app is making it easy and fun. Our Sky Cowans found an Elon student who's using it to learn 3 languages at once.
It's called Duolingo, and it's helping people learn languages all over the world. Elon senior Megan Schrock started using Duolingo last spring and practices a little bit every day.
I like Duolingo because it's free. And unlike Rosetta Stone, you can study multiple languages at once.
Schrock is using Duolingo to learn French, German, and Italian. But she's not using the app to speak. She's using it to be able to sing.
I want to go to grad school for vocal performance and hopefully be an opera singer. Practicing hours and hours a week, working on languages and diction.
Here's how it works. You can use Duolingo online or through the app on any smartphone or tablet. Just pick your desired language from the 21 offered, and Duolingo will keep you on track every day with short lessons and modules that are effective and fun. Once you complete one level, you can move on to the next. But does Duolingo actually work? Schrock says yes.
Definitely, I understand a lot easier when I'm singing.
According to a study conducted by the City University of New York and the University of South Carolina, an average of 34 hours of Duolingo are equivalent to a full university semester of language education.
And especially like if you're studying abroad and you can't take that language as a class, like I think it's such a good resource.
Duolingo was voted one of Time Magazine's must-have back-to-school apps. Sky Cowens, Elon Local News.
Elon Local News also reached out to language professors here at Elon, several who say they encourage students to use Duolingo as a way to practice their skills outside of the classroom. Commencement speakers, talent scouts, and many of our own parents visit campus regularly. But where do they stay? Our Michelle Alfini spoke to the owner of a hidden gem just down the road from campus.
This is your suite.
Owner Mike Brown proudly gave me the same tour he gives all his new guests at the Acorn Inn. 14 years ago, Brown decided to build the inn on West Haggard Avenue.
Jogged by, saw the light came on in my head, and we started doing the research to see what we could do here.
Brown got to work and the Acorn Inn opened in November 2001. Like the university, Brown says he's seen the inn grow and thrive over the years.
Well, a lot better off financially, not as many sleepless nights worrying if we're going to make it.
When the Acorn Inn began, the luxury top suite was his bedroom, but now it's where Elon's most prominent guests come to stay.
Various CEOs and consultants, various talent agents and scouts. A lot of times we don't have the guest name if they're booked by the president's office.
Though the inn is physically close to campus, Brown says that's not what makes it a part of the Elon community. An alumnus himself, Brown believes it's the local feel that makes the inn unique.
It's about that community anchor. It's about being part of the fabric. I mean, being an alumni, being from this area, and you get all of that.
Most of all, Brown says the Acorn Inn is about its relationship with the university.
There's really no reason for the Acorn Inn to be here without Elon University.
Michelle Alfini, Elon Local News.
Just call the main number.
Brown says traffic at the Acorn Inn depends on Elon's schedule, and the next big wave will come in a few weeks for Parents Weekend.
When visitors come to stay at Elon, we always hope they have some of our great North Carolina weather. Our Corey Shagda is outside with this week's forecast. Corey?
Thank you, Jackie. And if you were walking around campus today, you know the theme of the day was layers, layers, layers. I'm wearing a tank top right now. This morning I was walking around in a raincoat and rain boots. I could not keep up with that inconsistent weather today. But thankfully we're going to have some nice weather like we have today for the next couple days, but I cannot guarantee that for the rest of the week. Today was a high of 82 degrees. With scattered rainstorms throughout the day, and if you're going anywhere tonight, I would definitely suggest bringing a raincoat or umbrella because it looks like there might be potential rainstorms later in the night. Now let's take a look at the rest of the week in your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow will be in the upper 80s and partly cloudy with a low in the 60s. On Wednesday, there will be only a couple degrees increase with the highs in the low 90s. There is a 10% chance of rain, so I would say you're likely to keep that raincoat inside your closet. Thursday is looking to be the nicest day of the week with mostly sunny weather and highs in the low 90s. Friday looks about the same temperature-wise, but expect an afternoon shower. Unfortunately, we will not have as great of weather this weekend. We are looking at scattered thunderstorms on Saturday, and on Sunday, some AM thunderstorms and some cloudy skies. Both the days are looking to be in the mid to high 80s. Now, I know I'm not looking forward to that gloomy weather either. It's still early in the week. I think that we can probably cross our fingers, get some nice weather this weekend. I'm Corey Shagda, Raj and Jackie, back to you.
Thanks, Corey. When we come back, we'll look at some of the highlights and low points of this year's Sports Fest.
I'm 1 on Lucky Guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Following a developing story here at Elon Local News, the Elon football team is just 3 days away from its season opener against Wake Forest, and the Phoenix will be without senior linebacker Alexander Dawson. Dawson has been suspended the first 2 games of the season after violating team policy. Head coach Rich Karofsky made the announcement earlier this afternoon. The Eastern Alamance alum has not missed a game since the 2012 season and posted 21 tackles in 2014. Dawson is eligible to return in Week 3 when the Phoenix hosts North Carolina A&T on September 19th.
Back to the task at hand, Thursday night at Wake Forest, the Phoenix is hoping to improve on a 1-11 record, but is yet to name a starting quarterback. Either true freshman Daniel Thompson or redshirt freshman Connor Christensen will suit up with no college game experience. The last true freshman to start at QB for the Phoenix was Scott Riddle in 2007. Yes, the Scott Riddle, whose number 16 is retired and has his own personal banner in Rhodes Stadium. But even with a freshman under center, Coach Rich Skrosky thinks Elon is in a good position.
You never know how a guy's going to respond when the lights go on. But I'll say this, I can't think of 2 better representatives of our program to have than Connor Christensen and Daniel Thompson. They're both, you know, when you talk about the intangible qualities that you want in a quarterback, both these guys possess it.
Coach Skrosky says he hopes to name a starter by tomorrow.
This weekend was the annual Sports Fest where teams compete against each other to see who would come out victorious.
With 83 participating teams, this year's Sports Fest was tied for the largest in Elon history. Students teamed up to prove that they had what it takes to win Sports Fest. Before the competition began, teams were pumped up and ready to show what they were made of.
Every year, look up the time. A time when journalists must put their notebooks down, stop typing, and turn to athletes.
After placing in the top 25 the past 2 years, we had a reputation to uphold, and we were ready.
Give me an E! Give me an L! Give me an N! ELN, let's go!
We started off strong on the relay race, making it to the semifinals and losing by just seconds. Although it was more than 80 degrees outside and we were hot and tired, we rallied and prepared for the sponge race. ELN has won the sponge race for the past 2 years and we were ready to win again. Our faculty advisor, Dr. Anthony Hatcher, joined the team to help us go for that three-peat.
ELN on 3! 1, 2, 3! ELN!
Unfortunately, this year was not our year for the sponge race and we came in last. We regrouped and prepared for the dreaded dodgeball tournament. We barely lost in the last round when the referees ruled against us in a heated argument. We made it to the finals in tug-of-war and gave it all we had, but it wasn't enough. At least we went down fighting, and we definitely went down. Unfortunately, ELN did not place in the top 25 this year. Maybe we should just stick to journalism. Brooke Wivag. Elon Local News.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Be sure to follow us on social media and Facebook and Twitter.
Have a great week, Elon.